Is there a nice way to keep the stream parasocial stuff at bay? Nice way? Yes and no. With the nice ways, so, okay. Your personality and the way you speak and what you speak about naturally will create more or less parasociality. For example, the way I speak and the way I handle my chat and all that stuff, I'm not super warm. I don't say, love you guys. I don't say that. I don't say that to anyone unless they're like a family member or like a friend that I've spent time with, like really spent time with. A one-to-one, person-to-person friend. I don't just say that to a chat. Some people do, and they don't mean I know you personally, right? They don't say that and then mean it that way, but they still say the word. And for some people, hearing that, even though they're not taking it that way, it builds a feeling or it builds an environment that feels very like loving and warm, whatever. And I think that lends itself to parasociality. Absolutely. I don't, though, because again, I don't say that to people as a whole. I don't say that as a generalization, whatever. And I don't think it's even a bad thing if someone does. It's just like, that's where my boundary is. That's where my boundary is, right? So I think me not being the type of person, and I'm using that as a specific example, but not being that kind of person in the way I communicate with people and just having those kinds of boundaries naturally, not even talking about them, just clearly not like doing those things, I think keeps people at bay from feeling that way. Not 100%, obviously. Like some shit will always, people will feel the way they feel and you can't control that, right? But I think because I naturally act like that, I have fewer people that are like that for sure. But at the same time, I talk about appreciation, absolutely, because that's there, you know, all that kind of stuff. So those are like the nice ways you can do it. You can also just straight up be mean about some things. When someone says something that is beyond that boundary and they mean it really well, like someone comes into chat and they're like, love you so much, see you later, you know, have fun streaming, blah, 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 blah. And they use a lot of like really affectionate words. There are times where I will react negatively to it, depending on what they say. Sometimes it's just a thing that they typed and I know they mean it in a more shallow surface level kind of way. They're not meaning it in a deep way, you know, and I won't say anything. I'm just like, they're just using the word, right? There are other times the way they construct the sentence, I'm like, that feels like they're trying to mean it a bit more. And I put my foot down and reject it. And I know it's mean because I know that person's feelings are immediately, I'm putting a stop. They're just trying to be like, they're like, oh, love you so much, right? And they're like trying to display that. And then I'm like, no, you don't know me like that. But I don't care because I think it's meaner for me to let them say that to me. And I don't like it. And I don't feel the same. And I just like am disingenuous. Right? I don't know. I prefer to be honest about it. So while it does feel like maybe I'm being a little directly mean to that person, shutting them down, I'd rather shut them down than let them continue saying that stuff to me, let them think I'm taking it positively, and then maybe something happens later where I set the word down and they're like, I thought this whole time something, you know what I mean? So I don't like doing that to people. So while it may feel like I'm being a little mean in the moment, I really don't feel like I'm being mean because I feel like the other option is meaner. Even if they never find out. If I pretended to react positively to it, but I really didn't like it, I couldn't do that. I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that. I have to be honest with people, right? I just can't. I can't do it. I don't like the dishonesty, so I can't do it. And then there are some streamers who do feel that way because they use that word differently or they mean it. Maybe they mean it more loosely or maybe they actually do feel this way or whatever. Like there are some streamers that do that. So I'm not saying that every streamer that does do that is being disingenuous, but for me, because again, that word is very like locked down to like that's family or close friends or people I like really, really, really enjoy like that on a personal level, then, you know, it would be really disingenuous for me to just like say it to chatters that I have not sat down and talked to and know one-on-one like that, you know? So I won't, you know what I mean? And then if they say it to me, I'll be like, let's cut it to, hey, appreciate you a lot, because that's true, right? There are other words you can use that are very true, that are also strong, right? So I'm like, I don't know. So I think there are ways to do it, and it's all in how you phrase it. Like you can be really mean about it, but I only do that if I've tried to set the boundary and they don't get it. I've tried multiple times and they don't get it. Then I'm like, I gotta be meaner because if I'm not meaner, they're just like, it's not enough for them to change their behavior. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just gotta be like that.